So, have you ever stopped to wonder what it would be like to create something not for the fame, not for the money, but for a reason that's way, way bigger than yourself? Well, today, we're diving into this really unique philosophy of making music, and it all kicks off with a totally unexpected invitation to the World's Fair.
All right, so let's get right into it, because this is really where the whole story begins. We're not starting in some fancy high-tech recording studio, or some prestigious music school. Nope. It starts with this really simple, super relatable admission. This isn't some jaded industry veteran talking. It's someone who's just a fan, a passionate fan who purely, deeply loves music. And honestly, that's what makes the journey we're about to follow so incredible.
I mean, how does that even happen, right? How do you go from just being someone who loves listening to music to, boom, helping create it for a global stage? Well, it all started with this huge turning point, a completely unexpected invitation, an invite to a pretty prominent song camp over in Germany, all to get ready for the World's Fair. And look, this wasn't some casual jam session. This was a serious call to action, a chance to collaborate with other creators for this massive, massive international event.
And you can see just how fast this all happened. I mean, it's wild. 1 minute, you're just a passionate listener enjoying tunes, and then what feels like the very next minute, you're on a plane to Germany about to walk into this intense, creative pressure cooker, all for the World's Fair. Talk about a huge leap. And it was all driven by one thing, a pure love for the music.
So they get to this camp, and what do they find? Something really special. Something they said they'd rarely seen before, or since, for that matter. See, this whole thing wasn't about trying to chase the next big chart topper or just follow whatever the latest industry trend was. No, this was a fundamentally different way of thinking about how, and more importantly, why you even make music in the first place. And the philosophy behind the camp, it was almost profound in its simplicity. Forget all the complex formulas and industry rules. It was just step one, get human beings together in a room. Step two, work together to produce something beautiful. Step three, and this is key, make sure it comes from a genuine place, from the heart. And the final goal, the whole point of it all, make something that actually means something. So, from the heart, what does that actually mean? Well, it's about stripping away all the noise, right? The commercial pressures, the need to be famous. It's a shift from being motivated by outside stuff, money, chart positions, to being motivated by what's inside, the pure joy and the meaning you find in just creating. It's about putting human connection first, way ahead of a spot on the Billboard charts. And let me tell you, in the music industry, that is a radical idea. But okay, this whole creative philosophy, this from the heart thing, it wasn't just some abstract concept they were playing with. It was all pointed towards a much, much larger mission. And this is where we shift from the how they were making music to the really powerful why that brought everyone in that room together. So think about it. You've got all these incredibly talented people in one place. They're all working from the heart. They're all guided by this principle of making something meaningful. So what was the end game? What was the big objective here? What could possibly be the one single focus powerful enough to steer this whole thing? And there it is. The mission wasn't to write a hit song for some pop star or to target a specific market. The entire focus, which, by the way, fits perfectly with the whole global spirit of a World's Fair, was to create music for humanity. Just let that sink in for a second. Think about how that one single idea changes the entire dynamic of how you create something. This kind of purpose-driven approach, well, it just elevated everything. All of a sudden, individual ego has to take a back seat, right? The goal isn't about your personal success anymore. It's about tapping into this collective creativity, trying to craft something that can resonate with people all over the world. It's about using music as that universal language. It's about connection, pure and simple. So, okay, they had this incredible, pure process. They had this really noble mission. They got together, they collaborated, they created. But this brings us to the final part of the story, and maybe the most thought-provoking piece of all. What happens to art that's made with that kind of purpose? I mean, how do you even begin to measure if it was a success? Well, one thing's for sure, they were incredibly productive. Out of this intense, heart-driven collaboration, a very real, tangible result emerged. 23 fully realized songs. That is a massive amount of creative output. It's really a testament to what can happen when people are truly aligned on a mission. But here's where the story takes a turn.
Yeah, after creating 23 songs for humanity, our narrator admits they have no idea if any of them ever became hits, no clue if they charted or made it big in the traditional sense. And the really crazy part, that not knowing doesn't seem to bother them one bit. It doesn't take away from the experience at all.
And that right there, it just forces you to look at success in two completely different ways. On one hand, you've got the tangible stuff, right? The 23 completed songs, a potential product. But on the other hand, you have this intangible legacy, that powerful shared experience of creating together, the proof that a meaningful human-first process is actually possible. It kind of makes you think that maybe, just maybe, the real masterpiece wasn't the songs themselves, but the transformative process of making them together. Which, of course, brings us right to our final thought here. This whole story just beautifully sets up a question that goes way beyond music, doesn't it? What truly matters more in the end? Is it the final thing, the product that the world gets to see and judge? Or is it the why, the intention, the purpose, and the shared humanity that went into creating it in the first place?
The world is made up of 8 billion stories.
And we want to hear yours.
Check the link in the bio to see how you can be part of SongLAB 2026.
I don't know what's wrong or right.